I was really tempted to make this video as soon as it happened or as soon as I heard about it. Because not only do I really detest, in fact, no, I don't detest. Detest is a hard word, like hate, and it takes a lot for me to hate you. But I dislike Nicola Sturgeon strongly. And also, I like the fact that a public figure puts her in her place because Nicola Sturgeon, she needs it. So it's either Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak who will be the next Conservative Party leader, thus British Prime Minister. And I am a fan of neither because Rishi Sunak has even said in his campaign that he will burden British citizens with even more financial misery. And Liz Truss seems to be thick as mince and doesn't know whether she's coming or going most days. But with most things that Liz Truss has said and done, she's made a U-turn. You see, a few days ago, when asked about Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, she said that the best way to handle Sturgeon was to just ignore her. And that Nicola Sturgeon is nothing but an attention seeker. And this is right, though. Liz Truss is absolutely right in describing Nicola Sturgeon because the Scottish independence campaign, it really isn't about the Scottish people. It's about her. She has a great hold on the mainstream media in Scotland who daren't write anything negative about her whatsoever. And it's all about her image. I mean, she went, funded by the Scottish taxpayer, or the British taxpayer ultimately, to the United States where she had a jaunt to try and promote Scottish independence there and demonise England and Britain in the process. She didn't need to do this. She didn't have to do this. You know, the Americans have absolutely no say in British politics whatsoever, and they don't have a say in the Scottish independence referendum. It's not up to them. It's up to the British Prime Minister. It's up to Westminster whether they get that or not, and they won't get it. They will never, ever get it again because they had that a few years ago. Remember, it was a once-in-a-lifetime decision, and the Scots voted to stay in the United Kingdom. And like all Marxists, she is a power-hungry, vain piece of shit who thinks too highly of herself. And when asked about the reality or the possibility of a Scottish referendum vote, Liz Truss said, no, that's not going to happen if I'm Prime Minister. We are better together. And at the time, I really applauded her for saying this. And at the time, she went up in my estimation. But you can't really say that kind of shit if you want Scotland to be part of the United Kingdom, if you want to sway the Scots onto our side. That's not the way to do it. You see, Nicola Sturgeon was voted in democratically by the Scots to be their First Minister. She has a mandate of sorts and is therefore a representative of that country. So as much as I like what Liz Truss said about her, completely dismissed her out of hand there and then. She probably shouldn't have said it publicly because, you know, Nicola Sturgeon is a Marxist, right? She's a socialist, Marxist, lefty. And these types of people in power, they will use absolutely everything to their advantage. And Liz Truss's comments didn't go down well in Scotland. And besides, Nicola Sturgeon isn't one of these politicians to be ignored because she is fucking dangerous. She is out for herself and the European Union. She works for Brussels, not the Scottish people. And the main goal of her and her party, the Scottish Nationalist Party, is to break up the United Kingdom. And what better campaign advertisement can she have for that than if Liz Truss wins the British Premiership, you know, as she becomes leader of the United Kingdom, then it'll certainly be a damning quote on her behalf, and it could be used to break up the United Kingdom. But the best way to deal with someone like Jimmy Krankie is to democratically vote her out, expose all her failings, all the failings of her socialist policies, her insane left-wing wokeness, which puts the Scottish people not on top of her priorities, but down the bottom. You see, it's my belief from what I've seen of Nicola Sturgeon's work up in Scotland, she puts immigrants and the European Union and herself first, when it should be the Scottish people who voted her in. So it would be better, you know, it would serve far better for her to be kicked out, get a Marxist ass kicked out of the Scottish Parliament, out of a job, because her policies don't work. That would be a better way to deal with Nicola Sturgeon rather than just simply ignoring her. Thus, as I suspected, Liz Truss has indeed done a U-turn, because now she says that she's keen to work with the devolved administrations to deliver on the priorities of the UK. However, she made it clear to the Scottish people that there will be no second referendum. Instead, Whitehall and Holyrood will continue to focus on putting money in their pockets and delivering on their priorities. So basically, Liz Truss is going to try and use even more British taxpayers' money to try and bribe the Scots into staying in the United Kingdom. I think there's a better way of doing this other than giving them even more free stuff, because Scotland gets spent more per head in the United Kingdom than England, Wales or Ulster. They get free NHS prescriptions, free dental care, free car parking at hospitals, university places. Meanwhile, the taxpayer here in England gets fucking shit on. And that's really what Liz Truss should be concentrating on, really. And so people in England, Wales and Scotland, we are all suffering thanks to the cost of living crisis. The prices of everything is going up. And Liz Truss wants to shower the Scots with our tax money. It's a piss take. It's a kick in the bollocks of the taxpayer. And none of these people, none of these politicians have got their priorities right. And even though, like I said earlier, her comment was funny and Nicola Sturgeon deserved it, she is not a woman or world leader, a politician to be ignored. So there we go. Ignore Nicola Sturgeon at your peril, because she is indeed an underhanded Marxist piece of shit. And that's my video. I hope you like. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until the next time, Roger Trout.